iceberg when you go through one.
Yeah, we're a circus act. We're just sort of promoting our.
Obviously, I guess Tempus would be utilized to convince them otherwise. I'm trying to think. Obviously, like
No. This is not talking to the kobolds. This is getting to the place.
I mean, if you want to go straight to kobold interaction, that is an entirely different thing.
I'm meaning like it's a fallback in case we mess up and the kobolds are like,
Yeah,
they look
sure.
interesting.
You'll sass him and be like, "We come directly from Newport. We are with the Gloom," or something like that. I am the Gloom. That's you, Gryph. You're Gloom.
I am the gloom.
The kobolds will know.
No, I don't think they'll know anything.
God will warn you that there can be an instance of you being too smart for people who are too stupid to get the ploy and just fucking like stab you or some shit anyway.
But hey, that's Dwohurim's way. Being too smart for stupid people. That's his life.
So, 13th Age Skill Challenge. How will the party survive and navigate and handle this little rowboat through all of your combined weights put together, especially with the full plate, might make it a little uneasy. And you've got these kobold skiffs out there in the water. They are quite some distance from you, but they could always notice you through the wreckage and the icebergs.
Yeah, Geráck just sitting in the middle, using his strength to row the boat, not doing anything else.
Alright, I'm pretty certain that none of your backgrounds apply in the rowing situation.
No, I've rown many times in the mountains, like...
Okay,
like
we're looking
time.
for a DC 20 strength-based skill check from you, Goger. I remember the last time you guys did a bunch of skill checks. It was
Yeah, it went something like this.
Oh, we're gonna fall in the water and drown.
Geráck
Hey, it
was too
looked
hard.
like a wreckage.
Geráck is attempting to compensate for all of the heavy weight within the rowboat, particularly with his armor, and he ends up causing the rowboat to rock. A lot more trouble than it's worth. You folks bump into some wreckage. You nearly crash into an iceberg. As the boat struggles to stay active and moving in the correct direction.
Why did we do this?
So I have two ideas that could work, but sort of need an okay for them. Either I could try to repair whatever minor damages happen, but that doesn't seem like to really add a whole lot. I could like use
Depends on how hard we
use-
fail, really.
some sort of basically spellcrafting, I suppose, to gather the mists that are surely around to sort of cloak us a little bit from the kobolds.
Just a ball of mist rolling
You
forward.
can always, I guess, shape wreckage onto it so it looks like it's just a drifting wreck.
Well, that's a little longer time project. It's more sort of miscellaneous minor spell making.
Sure, you can use your magical background and intelligence skill check with that. Looking for a DC 20.
I have I've been doing so great on those.
You have been.
It's amazing. I have a good bonus though, so I mean, surely I will not.
It's your seeds, guys.
I mean,
not mine.
how? Oh, that's good. That's better.
All right. Dwohurim Harsca is able to manipulate the swirling winds flowing into Drakkenhall from the Iron Sea and from God knows wherever else the Mistress of Sorcery herself channels. And although the winds are very chaotic and difficult to handle, Dwohurim is able to at least shape them for a minor distracting effect, so that the kobolds may not notice anything untoward, especially after how Geráck's steering this fucking thing.
There can't be people in that. Come on.
Don't judge me!
The whale thing.
Matt Gaming.
No, you have to use both oars at once. Damn it.
Just Goger's there. He's like, what was that, Goger? Goger.
Kobolds are approaching. Geráck!
Gonna catch them all.
Kobold, Geráck.
Oh god damn.
Okay. So that's two skill checks made. Now we move on to the other people who have made skill checks.
Considering that we seem to have words. Considering that we seem to have problems navigating the boat, perhaps there are enough like pieces of wreckages and like peaks of icebergs that maybe someone who was good at throwing like a lasso or something could throw a rope over there and pull us and pull the rowboat so we don't bump into all the things.
Alright, so maybe a dexterity-based skill check. Do you have a throwing rope background?
I mean, it might be plausible that throwing rope up to things to have an easier climb might be something that Aurelia has done before.
Like grappling hooks kind of
It
situation.
might be plausible.
I mean-
That is not a good argument, Stardust.
It's too far fetched for me to be really convinced that I can argue that it is.
I'm not convinced, but I can argue this background.
I appreciate your honesty. I will give you a +1 background bonus with your dexterity
Alright.
modifier and your level. You've thrown a
Hey,
grappling
for
hook
honesty.
before.
I've done some. Oh god.
Well, as it turns out, Aurelia does end up lassoing that iceberg for you so that the rowboat can collide into it, and splinters of wood break off of it, and one oar is lost. No oar, come back!
Damn it!
The boat
Use
just sort of
that.
like
You're
uneasily just
now
sort of
bound to
bouncing in
an
the water.
iceberg with only one oar on one side, being rowed frantically by a dwarven folk, sailing sort of quickly
Go
around
faster,
the
damn it.
iceberg.
Isaac mutters, I should have taken my chances on the boat.
I think in
Dwohurim
reality,
readies his ring to fly
Like,
out of here.
The last time I did this, the floor wasn't shaking.
Oh god.
I think in response to this, Tempus will probably have to try and do something to recover the incident of us not only now rocking, but part of our ship has now been crushed by an iceberg, and we're now probably careening into something. So Tempus will probably. I'm trying to think something dexterity based. Bugger.
Hop in the water and swim.
I think that's more strength. I think Tempest actually. I'm trying to think how the hell this could work.
You can
I
try
mean-
to stabilize the boat.
We have one.
One of my ideas was actually to see if he could jump into one of the wreckages to find an oar to help balance the ship.
Sure.
Salvage.
We're spinning because like, we've lost an oar. Tempest is watching the oar going away. He's looking at the icebergs and seeing Geráck going, guys, something's going wrong, guys.
The boat's broken. It's only turning one side. It's not like a wagon at all.
And he
I
sees,
must be doing this wrong
That's a
somehow.
holy
he
oar.
sees he sees the iceberg, he sees a couple of wrecks. He figures he could make a run for it. He can try and go and grab that oar, get it back.
All right. Dexterity modifier was Survivor of the Dwarven Games.
Tempus is overboard.
God.
Plus
I hate
5.
sailing.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. I'm level 5, so 5 plus
Level
5 plus 5.
Okay. Tempus rather nimbly is able to run up the lasso rope that Aurelia made as a bridge, and without being spotted by the kobold skiffs, is able to retrieve some, not just a replacement oar, but 2 replacement oars just in case. And
Have an extra one.
along with like a long pole that you can use to like try and like knock yourself away from things, like push yourself away from obstacles that are approaching.
I can picture just Tempest is like shit. like just you see Tempest like with a bundle of sticks running back along the road.
Grim is amazed that he came back.
Shit, I didn't think of that.
Why would you? You could have lived there happily. How are you going to drown with the rest of us?
In the wreckage. Yeah.
Well, it shows how much he cares about you, right? He came back.
What Tempest knows is all of you have a lot of blackmail material on him. If you survive, could really bite him in the ass.
If we didn't, then you'd be good.
All right.
That's very fun.
That's Tempest.
Yes.
Okay, so
the boat has been stabilized. You guys got some
No,
oars
it's going
now.
weird. I've got 2 oars in one hand.
okay. So So now Tempus has got the boat stable again. Even we don't have the best thrust though. We've kind of crashed into things and we kind of having on sailing quite inadequately. My idea was to try and do what Leon does best. I mean, he has his magic. Maybe to try and help. We've had the whole boat shielded now. How about just trying to just give it a bit more of a push, try and help.
So we crash harder into things.
No, now use my magic to help navigate since you guys seem to be having trouble with.
Oh, alright.
How would you use your magic to help navigate?
Blow shit up in front of it.
that is admittedly an option.
I mean, you could like create explosions in the water, which would perhaps better navigate the boat.
Then we are this inconspicuous, loud fog cloud that is also spewing fire.
Damn vampires.
You could just use that pole to like push things out of the way.
I suppose, yes, I could just try and use the pole to help push and navigate the boat.
That would, using the pole would be a strength-based skill check.
Leon's not the strongest of characters.
I mean, yeah, Geráck has
You just need to hit a 20. As long as you can do that, I don't care what you do.
You just need
The odds would be against me.
Could you inspire the rest of us to
he
inspire us
can't
to
use
work
his
even
intelligence
harder?
to sort of position himself really good that he's using more of his strength to push away the things.
I don't think his intelligence modifier is much better than a strength modifier.
Oh.
Use your
it's
superior
better, but not by a
charisma
lot.
to make us all not hate each other and not use our time to scream at each other for how bad.
I mean, perhaps you could use your wisdom modifier to try to say, "Hey, there's a fucking iceberg there, you stupid cunts. Hey, how about that wreckage there? Or the squid? Hey, maybe not run into that, huh?"
Maybe. My character hasn't done a lot of naval navigation before, though. On the other hand, my character as a survival scout, maybe he's done navigation before.
You could do
maybe I could
wisdom
use that.
modifier and survivalist scout, yes.
There you go. That's better than me just using flat strength, which is going to get nothing done.
That, your level, of course, a D20. We're looking for a DC 20.
That's
Can I get close?
that's like
By the slimmest of margins, Team PC is able to succeed on this group bundle in a rowboat skill challenge, as Leon skillfully and not quite at the last second, but almost points out obstacles to Tempus and Geráck. Geráck, who's still trying to figure out how to fucking steer this thing. Tempus, who's got a better idea. Aurelia, who's just like sobbing with her rope. And Dwohurim, who's like swirling like the flows of magic, like, "Come on, guys, let's get this shit together, guys." But you are able to pull the rowboat up adjacent to land of Drakkenhall, and the kobold skiffs have not spotted you. You have succeeded.
it really sets the sort of power level for champion tier that we are having trouble inconspicuously rowing a rowboat. It's like that's what we barely managed to do. Five people with all our power.
Such a
We just managed
graceful
to
entrance.
not like crash and burn by rowing this boat.
I mean, you
through
gu-
icebergs.
you guys are level 5. That's like opening entry into champion tier. So I mean, hey.
We could kill so many people, but we could not row a fucking rowboat.
Well,
I
We're
think,
landlubbers.
these Black Fang are engaging us in the wrong way here. They need like a little bit of a
naval
bit of a,
bases.
sort of a trap maze, or a puzzle quest. Maybe a fetch quest we need to do. We'll fail it spectacularly.
An obstacle course.
We can't do anything but kill people. Jeez, why is it so difficult?
Oh god.
You guys are just so specced into killing things.
Yeah, such a graceful entrance.
There's not that many options for not. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I'm glass house. So, let's go towards the Sylvan Sanctuary here.
Yeah.
Let's not linger. I mean, we're not gonna use this robot again. I don't think.
Not the
Probably,
fact that
it's pretty hairy. It's just not really,
Looks at the wrecked boat.
It's got a regular human oar, it's got an elven oar, and an orcish oar.
It's like
how
being
can you tell the
sucked
difference?
down by like a big something with tentacles.
Oh god, and Tempus, the ore expert.
Tempus wields a lot of interesting weapons over his time.
So does that
like
count?
an elf and a human and an
Tempus
orc.
This is actually one of the first times he's actually had a real weapon, a dagger.
The rowboat does look thoroughly roughed up. You imagine that leaving it by parking it here will result in probably nothing happening to it because there's so much wreckage out there in the fucking harbor.
Once I become like an epic shaper, I'm going here to make a fortune. Paying all this shit. Well, let's just leave it here. Who cares?
You're saying, Gryph, keep hold of the oar. It's now a two-handed weapon for you.
If there's any place you can litter, like Drakkenhall's probably it. So,
Yeah.
let's go to the Silver Sector.
As you look at it, all of the ruins there in the water.
Look at all this. Nobody cares.
Okay. You begin your slow walk, which will take a number of hours, as travel in Drakkenhall is always incredibly lengthy due to the maddening street design. Even in places that are not ruined and have been rebuilt, just end up being so damn frustrating. And although you have spent quite a lot of time walking in Drakkenhall, it has been a month. You would almost swear the city has moved a little bit, and that roads that you were familiar with have shifted somehow in their intersections. But perhaps that's just the mistress of sorcery at work. As you do walk past the harbor, you're able to briefly catch a glimpse of the kobolds accosting the vessel that you acquired from Death's Hand, and the Death Speaker speaking with the kobolds, but you are much too far away, unless you don't want to be too far away and want to go meet the kobolds after you fucking did that challenge, to hear anything.
No, we're good.
We didn't really have a meeting point with the Death Speaker.
Nope.
I mean, by the boat, probably.
I guess.
I mean, he's a smart guy.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It is a multiple-hour trek. However, you are eventually able to reach the outskirts, the northeastern outskirts, of the incredible city of Drakkenhall, with the Tower of the Blue looming behind you. And you come across that which you have seen before, some of you at least, an impenetrably thick stand of trees, and it's still not clear how anyone enters or exits this. Looking at the outskirts of it, the trees form a solid perimeter of interwoven branches.
Well, we'll think. How did Fargus do it back then? You kind of just left him here, didn't we?
Well, thinking back, at least the time where you guys all arrived as a group, Therral the Everliving was waiting out here, pretty much, or that, or like he walked out and like the grove sort of parted for the druid.
So I guess we'll walk up to the trees.
You walk up to the trees.
Knock.
Dwohurim reaches out a hand and knocks on one of the trees.
Yeah. Excuse me. Hello?
One of the nearby trees actually begins to twist and turn, and its eyes open.
Oh, hello, excuse me. Hope I'm not disturbing you or something.
The tree twists and blinks.
We are looking for Therral the Everliving. Is she available at this time?
He may be. Who are you?
We are friends, companions of Fargus. You would know who that is.
Fargus. I shall convey a message. And the tree will get out of the ground and uproot itself and begin walking. The perimeter parting from him for him and closing up behind him.
Well, kind of like their style. I mean,
It's quite interesting. It was just a Treant-shaped hole that appeared and just formed. Just basically just merged into the forest.
And then closed up behind it.
Ooh.
So,
Geráck will sort of look for eyes in the other trees. So walk up close to them, just sneering at them.
Yes,
Geráck
because that's what.
sneers at the trees.
lower the axe.
Definitely a tree. Don't like it.
I mean, dwarves has never liked trees much.
No.
Use stone.
Only good trees
I
are
guess
mushrooms.
trees like dwarves, though. We usually use stone for anything we build.
Geráck gets the sensation that he's being watched.
He's very rude to the tree. Indecent,
Geráck will
really.
stop sneering at the trees, just taking a few steps back, just looking at them. Trying to find some eyes in the edge of the forest.
Have a big interest in trees.
Make a roll to find eye skill check.
Paranoia.
No background. Wisdom modifier
yeah.
level.
Alright.
I've often been looking for trees, and
It's just so weird to me. Yes.
you know,
There
it's
are
surprising.
eyes everywhere, and the birds that are up at the tops of the trees, and the badgers, and the squirrels, and the owls, and the snakes.
Badgers
and
in the tree wall. This man like sticking out, like plucking holes, like a badger. The bottom half.
But
sticking out.
no eyes that are actually a part of the trees themselves.
Alright.
You know, it's surprising how quickly he get used to this sort of thing. He did this damnedest thing. He would take the power of nature and put it in my hand, and I could. It was incredible.
Wait, who?
Fagus.
Oh. I see.
Yes.
The druids do a lot of...
Amazing things, really. I mean, it was quite the thing. Would take it and turn it on fire, or yeah. He didn't like that.
I imagine not.
And it will be some weight here in the cold, standing in front of the grove.
They're good at asking people for hell, aren't they?
How long does this usually take?
Not just frankly, I mean, we did ask a tree to go and tell them. Could ask a bird. Think about that.
You also know that there's every possibility that the guy will just go, who?
I mean, he specifically sent for us on the other side of the sea, too. I don't think he would have done that if he didn't know who we were. Unless we've...
Kind of rude just to make us wait there.
Well, maybe he's busy.
No, I mean,
No, I mean-
just not address us at all.
No, I mean, yeah, I suppose. But
He's-
maybe he
he's
told the
going
tree to
out.
go back and say it, but I mean, it moved pretty slow.
On the
Yeah.
flip side,
So-
at least the tree acknowledged us and went through it. Better than last time.
Yeah. I mean, it's also that, I mean, this tree moves faster than any tree I've seen before, so I suppose we can't complain, but
I suppose. Didn't think trees could move, really.
it's a droid thing. They like nature so much that they change it in all these kinds of ways. Usually just makes it bigger and more ferocious. I'm telling you, this tree could probably fight you better than a normal tree. Or a natural.
I think you're right about that. It can move. I'm guessing it could defend itself.
Yeah, not that I would ever harm a tree. Smiles at the tree wall. Very friendly with trees.
There isn't really a reason to. Why
Most of
not
the time,
just
yeah.
build everything out of stones and...
Except, I mean, boats would be difficult, I suppose. Grim stops talking.
It's close to a half hour, maybe like 26, 27 minutes, before the tree line will end up parting in front of you. And I'll go ahead and read his description again, as it has been some time. The human before you appears to be in his late 40s. He's short and thin, a bit bent on his ironwood staff, smelling heavily of rose and lilac. Hard turquoise eyes stare at you beneath thick eyebrows, but the lips beneath his graying beard form a welcoming smile. He wears simple clothes, not enough for this time of year, but he doesn't appear bothered by the temperature. As you observe him, you notice his companions, a troop of mice peeping out at you from a leather vest pocket. Before we get into the swing of roleplay, Dwohurim and Aurelia. Dwohurim, I'd like for you to roll your high druid relationship die, and Aurelia,
Not it.
And Aurelia, I'd like for you to roll your icon relationship dice with the 3.
Nope.
Okay. Oh boy.
Okay. Well, Aurelia, looking at this man for the first time, pieces together to name Therral the Everliving. She has spent some time in Drakkenhall, as well as other locations, hearing bits and pieces here and there, of course, in her service for the Black Fang, and then against it, Therral the Everliving is a very powerful and prominent druid who was once an adventurer in his day. Before he gained the suffix the Everliving, he was known as Therral the Dragon Slayer. He gained quite a bit of prominence and popularity, maybe 15 or so years ago, by slaying a green dragon.
If that turns out to be Chuuk's ex-husband, that'd be the worst.
No, it might very well be something like that.
Therral the Everliving, the wizened man, not so wizened, he's not that old, at least he doesn't appear to be, will stop in front of the copse and blink and say, "Oh good, it's good to see that you have gotten the message. I am sorry to hear about what has happened to your traveling companion, Fargus. It has been a great heartbreak for me."
Sort of looks at him, looks in the eye and says, "Yes. It was a grave loss. I hope that we can do some good for you in his stead and honor his memory. He taught us all very much."
The smile twitches a little and says, "Yes, I contacted you out of desperation. There was no other way I could see myself. There was no other way I could see anything succeeding. You were the only idea I had in mind. Not for lack of trying. But the others I said died."
I see. Well, we might need to know a bit more about this whole situation before we can really begin moving.
He moves a gnarled hand through his very long hair. "Right, as I'm sure the sprite and messenger told you, Chuuk has taken my apprentice and lover, Hazel, captive. She has been within Chuuk's manor for some time. Chuuk is a known advocate of torture and thoroughly enjoys dismantling individuals, and she and I have some bad blood. She has no love or affinity for druids. And I'm not the biggest supporter of chromatics."
Well, certainly something I can agree with, to some degree. How did she get captured?
He looks hesitant. She got picked off. Chuuk was hunting specifically for her.
Where? Here in the grove?
No,
Outside?
not here. Chuuk would not be so stupid as to attack the grove. I do not know where, only that through messenger, Chuuk sent to me a keepsake that my beloved would have kept with her, if she could have it all. A small, little wooden ring that I gave her years ago.
Was there any message with the delivery? Grim would like to see if he's being truthful, sort of try to ascertain it.
You can make a read the Elder Druid's face skill check and do that secretly for me, please.
Sure. All secret. I don't think I have a background. I mean, his time with druids has been. He hasn't really. He didn't need to read the last ones he sort of spent time with, so.
Right.